What is up? My audio just did something really weird a second before that ended. So can you guys hear me? Because I don't know what's happening. All right, cool. Happy Friday. Welcome to Let's Talk Real Estate and stuff. Hope you all out there having a great week. Like and subscribe, follow, please. On YouTube, we're trying to get to 250. Yeah, how are you guys doing?
Really good. I hope you're having a good week as well. It's good. Everybody that's in your business vicinity is happy to have you back in the home office. Just good to have you back, man. Excited to talk to Papa P. Haven't chatted with him much this week, so I'm good.
Bruh. Sorry, I gotta take my gum out. I am chewing my mastic gum. How are you liking it, Carlos? Are you digging
I like
this?
it. Give me 1 second answer. I am liking it. Keep going. I'll be back in 5 seconds.
Well, I'll tell you, John, you need to scoop this gum, dude.
I need to get
Everybody in my family is on it. They love it.
Yeah.
Even my son, you know what I mean? Like I bought a new bag, so I gave him the old bag of mastic gum, and he's loving it. You know, it's not sweet. My mom's loving it. Like it transcends, you know. And you can't go back to regular gum. You can't go back to regular gum after you chew it. Yeah. So my mom's flying out to Hawaii, and she texts me. She's like, I forgot my gum. She's like, I'm chewing Trident. It's not the same. It's too soft, too sweet. Like it's not right. And I go, you can't go back. Like after you chew this, you can't go back.
You really can. You can't really just like put it out and use the same.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. And I'm telling you, man, like as long as you put in a little piece of paper, you keep it clean. Like my son's record right now, he's been trying to gauge a record. He's at 6 days, and he said at 6 days, he goes, Dad, it just disintegrated. He goes, it poof, you put it in your mouth at a certain point, it doesn't work. But
6 days he's had the same piece of gum.
Same gum, yeah, same gum.
Oh my gosh, that's
But like
hilarious.
I can say, like it's done a lot orally for my mouth, like just like you feel cleaner in your mouth. It might be, what's the word? Placebo effect.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel it has curbed my sweet tooth too, and I've read
that's interesting.
I've read that that's something that it does because it kills off some bacteria in your stomach. So kind of the things that make you crave. Because I used to eat ice cream every night, and I have not eaten ice cream since I started chewing this gum. It just occupies me. I don't need it. So anyway, that's what I've got going on.
That's awesome.
I'm ordering it right now.
The mobile home park was interesting.
Yeah, how'd that go?
I don't know how to feel about this thing. I don't know how to feel about it. So
I can't remember. We've had so many discussions. What did we share on the podcast? Did we?
So I'm not. So the one in Arkansas, I'm raising funds on. That's a whole other thing. The one in Georgia, I went out to. It is a unique property. They just don't take. It's a shame because a lot of people don't understand how to manage rentals or what to do in a mobile home. So like they'll go in and they put new floors in, but they didn't put waterproof floors in. So now like a lot of the floors in the kitchen and the bathrooms are all buckled and peeling, and it's like cardboard. It's just layer after layer, just like, you know what I mean? Like when you put water on cardboard, it starts to like peel back and you can see the individual layers. And it's like they don't have ACs on any of the units, and that may not seem like a big deal. And I get their logic because if it's cheaper, but you start to lose value on your home as a mobile home. An AC is 5, 6, 7K worth of value. That's what it costs to put one in. You got no ductwork, you got no central AC, just window units. So the value of the home itself starts to become less the more it just becomes a tin box. So I left there saying I love the park, I love the location, I would love to buy it. The price you're asking is way too much for what it is, and they lied about a lot of stuff. So I verified the income is not what they said. Like I'm walking through and I had my notes and I'm like, okay, what are you getting on this one? Oh, and do you own that one? No. Do you have title for this
confused. So this park that you went and visited in Georgia is the one where they were talking about the sewer?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is not the park next to the
casino. That's Arkansas.
The casino. Okay.
So Arkansas is basically done. I passed my due diligence. I'm satisfied with it. I am now in money raising phase. I have till November 17th to close and to raise the funds, so I don't foresee that being an issue. It's a great deal. So I'm basically done with that. I'm ready to implement my business plan once we buy it. The Georgia one though is like I haven't even I put a deposit down. I'm committed to it, but I haven't past my due diligence. They owe me a lot of documents. And he said it himself. I was out there and I'm like, hey, I sent your agent my due diligence request. And he's like, well, what did you want? Just tell me right now. And I'm like, well, I have a list.
That's not how it works.
And so I kind of briefly did. And he's like, well, I don't have any proof of anything. And listen, these are two guys who got lucky, bought a park at foreclosure for 75 grand. They're going to make $1.5 million. I mean, they're going to bank.
Oh my gosh.
This thing. Bro,
75 grand?
What
listen,
in the
they bought
heck?
it at foreclosure for 75K. It's in the middle of nowhere, Georgia. And it's like, yeah, I'm sure there wasn't a lot of people bidding at the court steps for this thing. They scooped it in 2016 before mobile home parks were a thing, you know?
So how crazy is that number then? Like how drastically low is that number since maybe mobile home parks are
yeah, I mean, you're never going to get that number again. I mean,
it's still a crazy deal that they got.
Yeah, it's an insane fact that he got that deal even at that time. But I've heard stories of that. Listen, I've been going deep on the mobile home park stuff, and like I've heard stories of people in 2010, 12, 13, banks just begging them to buy these parks because they're a whole different beast. It's not just a foreclosure house. Anyway,
yeah.
But like they don't own all the houses they said. Their rent roll that they put in the advertisement, I don't think there's any way some of these things were rented because I walked the units that they claimed they were collecting rent on. And now he's not lying about it now, but the rent roll you gave your agent back in May or June, there's no way this home was rented back in May or June, dude. Like this thing's gutted. Like there's no way the tenant moved out and you've just been renoing this thing. None of it makes sense to me. So I don't know. So I called the city, the county, city, whatever, verifying some stuff. The back acreage, it's not as easy to develop as they claim. So there's a lot of stuff I'm figuring out. So moral of the story, there's going to be a renegotiation if I move forward with this. If you can't prove to me how much you're getting in rent, he goes, we only deposit the checks. Some people pay in cash. So I was like, well, do you have leases showing what they pay? Well, we don't have anyone on written anything. It's just all month to month. So that way, if they don't pay, we kick them out. I'm like, so you don't have leases. You don't have any actual bank statements to show me what you're making. But your rent roll is showing you're collecting rent on unit. They show they're collecting rent on a unit that they told me is their storage unit. How does that make sense, bro?
That doesn't make sense at all.
And of course, I didn't call them out on it, and they don't know what I'm looking at. I'm just looking at what the agent gave me. This says you're collecting $600 a month. And go, and this one, you have someone in that one? No, that's where we put all of our stuff because we flip houses. That's our storage yard and unit. And I'm like, oh.
They want you to do Scouts Honor. Go off of Scouts Honor. We don't know if he's a former scout or not.
And listen, I am of the belief, I think in real estate investing, there's two trains of thought. If things aren't the way they are and you're not getting a good deal, then just bounce. But I also think that there's another train of thought that I could do any deal if I'm compensated for the risk. There's a value for every risk that there is. And if I get compensated,
for sure.
Yeah. So if you want to compensate me and I renegotiate you down and you say yes, then yeah, I'll be fine winging it on hoping these people are even paying. I have no proof that all of them are up to date, let alone that it's 4 or 5K less than what you said in your marketing material.
So these guys just not experienced with mobile home parks at all, and so that's why they don't have anything. Like they just haven't been keeping.
No, listen,
the regular.
They may be flippers, but the whole mom and pop term, right, is that inexperienced, non-professional investor. Yes, I do business. I am in real estate, but I'm not a corporate. I could never do that because I have to answer to investors in the IRS and the SEC, right? They're not. So I'm not saying they don't do other stuff. I'm not saying they're inexperienced. They're just of the mindset, the less I show in income, the less I pay in taxes. I'm under the assumption of let me raise the value of my park, get more depreciation, make my investors more money, refinance out of it. It's a very small price to pay for the value that I'm bringing and how I make my money. It's just, and mom and pops are like that too. You'll find a bunch of them. They may not be the typical 70-year-old and maybe two brothers who are 45 years old, but they operate the same as a bunch of 70-year-olds trying to skirt the IRS on money. I just don't play that game. I can't legally play that game. That's not how you could grow and scale an investment business.
Right.
For any lawyers or any government
Yeah.
agents listening to the show,
Listening, they're like, wait a second, let me go find these people. I have no proof of anything. This is all hearsay. This is all verbal hearsay. And this is in my personal opinion. I have neither fact nor evidence of anything I just said. There's a lot of assumptions that I just made based on my visual inspections of stuff. So anyway, love the area. I will waiting for them to send me documents, and for every document they don't send, that's just more reason for me to renegotiate them. Hopefully they could send me and prove everything and I'm wrong, and I think it's a great deal at the numbers and everything they advertised. It was a great deal. So that's where I'm at, guys. That's my update for the week on my mobile home park journey. I've learned quite a bit, so
it's all about the learning. All about the learning.
It really is. A lot of it is. I did send through, I don't know if our production guy is on the line or not and can play a commercial that I put through the Slack channel, but this week I just saw this commercial. So for any NBA fans, professional basketball fans, that just started a couple days ago that the regular season just kicked off. And we've seen these type of commercials before, but I thought this was a timely segue into some of the stuff that we're going to talk about this week with like texting, some texting tools being shut down. I want to kick it over to you guys. I met with some friends or a friend this morning that's kind of like a beginning fix and flipper I've mentioned before. And we're just talking about like different marketing channels. And they're like, they even say stuff as beginners, like, doesn't it make sense just to get more like leads, like people that call you off of like radio or like TV ads, something like that? I'm like, yeah, in short, yes, that does make a lot of sense. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, like cost and how saturated the market is and stuff like that. But yes,
I love that. I love that line. Did I ever tell you the story of the guy that quit on his like third day or fourth day? And when he talked to me, he said, because he was doing junior acquisitions, and he said, I just feel that we should be talking to motivated sellers.
I remember that
talking to people. Yeah, he goes, I feel like I'm talking to people who don't want to sell and everyone's telling me no. And I just think you're not doing it right and you need to talk to motivated people. And I'm like, bro, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, bro. You're not wrong, dude. It's just, we got to get through the minutia though, dude. And that's why you're here on day 3. Sorry I didn't give you my PPC leads.
Yeah. That's so funny.
Yeah, he quit. We were outside talking and he fucking bounced and I was like, all right, dude, good luck with your life.
That's so funny. But yeah, that's definitely the as you start piecing things together in the beginning stage, it makes sense. So this was kicked off just for this NBA season. I think started 2 nights ago, and we've seen commercials similar to this, or even billboards from like iPhone, where what it essentially is marketing is privacy for the customer, so for the people using the phones. But I thought this is interesting that that they're just showing this now at a time where some texting stuff is going down, maybe some cold calling. So you can let it roll, maybe even like 20, 30 seconds. You'll see the part where we can stop it after.
I'm going to mute because I don't know if I'm going to get double audio. Let me know if you don't hear it.
Cool.
This season on Project Built Different.
I could be an NBA prospect.
One man.
Who is this guy?
Oh, buddy, you're going to find out.
What's up, Drew? Come on, Drewski.
One phone.
Spam likely. That's my cousin Spam. Spam crazy.
Where you get this from?
No, I got the plug on all that.
One dream.
I could be an NBA agent.
Making the NBA by any means necessary.
You think I could be an NBA commentator? Oh, daddy, that is poetry in motion.
Is he in my chair?
Yeah, gotta go. That's what makes me a different kind of agent. Thank you.
From the creators of the only phone engineered by Google.
Oh, you tell me my style is for real.
Built different, that's what they say.
This guy, the nerve of this dude.
Hit that.
So what is your overall message to the NBA?
Look, I'm coming.
This is Project Built Different.
That clip didn't show the whole thing. There was another version that had the spam likely, and it shows the phone, and it transcribed, and it was an auto warranty person calling. So it showed a feature of the Google Pixel. So I probably should have watched the entire commercial to show it had that part. I just like pulled it up and I saw the spam likely. But that guy's hilarious, Drewski. He's like an up and coming comedian.
Everything's spam likely. Like, my kid's school comes up as spam likely. When it doesn't say spam likely, my phone says potential spam.
Yeah.
Yeah. I personally, as a user, and I'm not saying I'm not being biased because of the industry I'm in, I hate it. I fucking hate it because everything is potential spam. I've missed important calls from people that I'm expecting because I don't want to pick up. It says potential spam, and then I'll get the voicemail. I'm like, shit, that was so and so. Like I was supposed, and then I'm playing phone tag with them. I just want my normal phone tag. Let me pick them up. Find another way to do it. Like this potential spam, an unknown is the worst when I don't even get to see the phone number and it just comes up as unknown. Like, bro, like it's
doesn't make
unknown to
sense.
me. It doesn't make sense. I can't even see the digits. Yes, of course it's unknown.
Yeah, I think it's interesting what the phone companies are trying to do. And we can bridge this into A2P, but in terms of like phone calls, like I feel like, like the iPhone came out, right? And all the phones then started giving you the ability to block. So the phone itself blocks the call. You could say who it's blocking, right? And then the phone companies were like, well, old people. And I honestly feel like most of what's occurring right now is because of old people who
They got
don't
nothing
know how
better
to use
to do but to
technology.
talk. They got nothing better to do but to talk on the phone.
Right. And so they're like, I'm getting all these spam calls. And so like the phone company's like, we got to do something about the spam calls. And so they use like whatever they they have the mark as spam, and that gets reported from the phone back to the phone company. And so it does like some kind of globalization. And so a phone number across the whole company can be potentially spam. But I agree with you. I feel like they should give us the ability to opt out of that.
It's just
And say, I
fucking
don't want that.
wild that the people being punished for this are either A, the user, B, the small business. But
Mhm.
most importantly, it's wild because it was created, all of this is created by the large corporations who sell our data for a profit to people to then sell the data back downstream
That's
to
why
the
it's
people
ironic.
who are actually. The irony is crazy, and everyone's like, oh my God, thank you for creating all these laws. You're the fucking one who started selling this shit to begin with. Google is the worst offender, and Google's like, let me come out with a phone that blocks the spam from the number of which I sold to the guy who's calling you so I can make some money off
The
of it.
irony is absolutely incredible. If you guys are familiar, I know I'm probably a Star Wars guy as well. But do you know the I think it's in one of the earlier Star Wars, or the chronologically the newer ones, where it's like Palpatine and they're at the Bubble concert and he just goes, "How ironic." I always use that gif.
No, I don't remember that. I just think of a meme I saw where it was a picture of all the people leaving the World Forum in their private jet, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
leaving, and then it's the guy, all the big corporations leaving their conference about how to protect the environment, me drinking my paper straw and it's just melting. You know how like when you drink out of a paper straw it just disintegrates? And it's
Immediately.
just like, to save the environment, I'm
The
drinking a paper
gum the gum holds up. I don't know how to pronounce it.
better
The
than the paper
gum
straw.
holds up better than the paper straw.
But it's
But
wild. It's
the
like, yeah,
irony is crazy, and that's the feature of the Google Pixel phone. Is
it's
I guess it's a new feature of transcribing the call, so it tells you it's spam, and like while you're picking it up, it gives like maybe a
I don't
transcription
know.
of what they're saying. But it is crazy that that's what they're marketing. So the big corporation is benefiting from it because they're marketing, hey, we're gonna protect you. We don't want your data getting out there. We don't want people intruding on you. But the whole time they're taking your data and selling it, like as Papa P was
Yeah, it's
describing.
just, man, I don't know. I was on a training call yesterday. I hopped on for a free webinar. I was interested to see what he had to say with Scott Morris of Lamasu Leads, smart guy,
Cool.
great in sales. And one of the things he was saying, and it's wild, and people don't think about it, is like you're calling people. He's like, what does your online presence look like? Of like when you type in ABC homebuyer or scam, what pops up? ABC homebuyer complaint reviews. What do your reviews look like? All these things, because even if you get past the gatekeeper, the first thing they're going to go do is
Look
see if
you
you are spam or
Mhm.
scam or complaints, and you gotta look at that
online
stuff. And I was like,
reputation.
man, like he's right. Like people don't think about that. When you type in your company name and the word complaint, what pops up? Who owns those domains? So his thing was, go buy your domains of that. Like it costs you $11 a month to buy that, or even a year to buy that, a domain.
Wait, what? Go buy your domain?
go by your company domain, followed by scams, complaints.
Oh, interesting. So
News.
it pops right up at the top of the search results, and you can combat whatever might be below that.
And you control it.
Mm.
And now
Well,
it
you can't
goes.
completely control it
You
because
can't completely control it, but you can.
you could be
People
there.
Google that, you're there now
Yeah.
combating that, right? It's a form of control. Yeah, I get you. It's not full control. But again, like what's your online presence look like? I think that's the only way to combat these things because no one trusts now. And you get past the problem is you get past the word spam likely and somebody picks up the phone. Their immediate question is, well, it says spam likely. Are you not legitimate?
Mm-hmm. It's intriguing because like we've talked about it before, and you mentioned a couple of weeks ago when we were talking about the AI photos, like you are created a credibility kit to raise money for your parks, and it's like the packet works for you, right? Like it's like a different world in what you're doing. You don't necessarily. I know you're working on online presence for that, but that's not the first thing. But that people go and Google, like you're talking to an investor, they're not like Googling you, but you with the sellers that we're dealing with, like that's what they do. That's that's what they do all the time. I need a new car. I'm thinking about a Honda Civic. Somebody
do it
tell
all
me
the
about
time.
the Honda Civic.
Yeah.
I whatever. And they're Googling for those types of things. So yeah,
And you can't weed out the bad ones. Like you can only look at the good ones. I mean, and here's the thing: is like if you want to get down to the nitty gritty of it, you can't trust anything because a lot of these companies just buy Google reviews anyway.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you don't know, like, bruh, you have no idea whether these reviews are legitimate. So, like, for the park stuff, people don't want to read my reviews. They want to talk to somebody who knows me, who's actually done it
right
with me,
yeah.
and they'll ask, and I have like a reference of people who've loaned me money. If anyone ever asks, I've gotten permission for people to be called, and I'll hand that out because that's better than any type of review. Because yeah, like they could be fake reviews. So I just feel as if it's a full circle of irony and bullshit because in order to gain the trust, let's be honest, they can all be fake reviews. I mean, the people that are calling you, it says spam likely, only got your phone number from the company trying to protect you. Like, it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you combat it with quality leads, good inbound leads. Your outbound stuff you need to be really good on. I mean, I'm sure texting's only getting harder.
It's getting way harder.
I heard launch control's having some issues.
Yeah, I was talking about this earlier with some other people, but I haven't got any firsthand knowledge. So I think Carlos, you do. What was happening?
As of yesterday, it was
I
still
saw
shut
it on
down.
Instagram. Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw people complaining on Instagram. I don't know any facts about it. I just heard people are, I don't know, what do you say, like
Unable to
predicting its demise permanently, scrambling, trying. I mean, again, this is all hearsay. I have no facts. This is just like postings from users, I'm assuming, frustrated that they can't get their marketing channel and then asking people what your marketing channel is, how much does it cost. Like I see it in the Facebook groups and on Instagram. I troll Facebook heavy throughout the day as just seeing what the pulse in the industry is.
So launch control is still shut down.
Is it really?
I mean, that's a question, not a statement.
As of yesterday, yeah.
Okay.
I believe
How
it,
long
man.
is that? How long has it been out?
Monday to Friday.
So I got one last night. It was late at night, and I thought it was bullshit. I was like, bro, you're texting me on the East Coast at like 9 o'clock at night, and it says, "Hi, Brandon, are you up for a cash deal at blank property?" But the part that got me is like, oh, whatever. But it's the ending that I've never seen before, and this is for the new A2P compliance rules.
Yes.
Reply, stop to unsubscribe, thanks, comma, ABC Home Buyer LL. I'm not going to say their real company name, ABC Home Buyer LLC. Never, ever, ever, ever in all the years I've been in wholesaling have I own property, so I've gotten all these texts all the time. Never have I seen somebody put their company name, not to mention the reply stop. A lot of them don't even put that.
Yeah.
I know that you can write the word stop, so every time I just put the word stop, and it automatically, because they just don't tell you what to say. But this time, they're actually coming out and saying everything in the text. But they're still not putting the word offer in there. You saw they said deal, cash deal.
Yeah,
so I
you
thought that
can't
was
use certain words. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. Like, So I'll give some context to launch control that I know of, and this can kind of, if somebody wants to continue to do text messaging marketing, this will kind of help you. So launch control, as far as I understand it, does not require each individual sign up to have their own texting account, meaning with Twilio or any other provider. So that means that when you sign up for launch control, your phone numbers that you're using are on their
Them, yeah.
provider account.
They're going to
And
get
this
the
is
shit.
exactly what happened to Lead Sherpa. Everybody on Lead Sherpa was under one account. And so when, Twilio or whoever they're using is like, this is causing too many problems. We just have to shut you down. You got to prove to us the
Yeah,
change.
the whole company shuts down. It
Mhm.
would behoove
So-
them to switch the plan and make everyone sign up, use their platform,
Yeah.
and have their own Twilio.
I'm surprised they didn't.
They're probably already working on it, bro. That's
Yeah.
probably why they're shut down, and they're probably devs are working on it. But here's the thing. Again, it goes to what I was saying. People online, from what I'm seeing, are predicting its eventual, if that's a word, demise. It's.
I mean, all of those companies will never be as big as they have been.
I think
But
they're going to have to pivot.
Yeah, like things like REI Reply, which is built off of Go High Level, but it requires you to have your own Twilio account. So if you are interested in text messaging marketing, that would be my suggestion. Find one that makes you have your own Twilio account, because then your account will not be affected by the actions of others. And that's the biggest thing that we're kind of seeing now, is like things that have a lot of accounts on them are starting to have negative effects.
But like,
I also did hear. Go ahead.
No, I think there's a place for texting on a what do you want to say, an actual signed up consumer basis, right? Like, I don't mind getting text messages from things I've signed up for. I just ignore them, but like, you're not invading my space. I get it. I bought something from you. I said yes. Like, I acknowledge that, and I'm okay with it. I think the cold shotgun texting, which is what we all do, I think that's gone. I think it's gone. I don't think that'll ever be.
I don't even see if you get through A2P and you are in.
Yeah, I don't see how this lasts.
I don't see it lasting. I see them still coming after you, because you're going to get too many spam complaints.
Because you're doing too much, right?
And consent is just
and that's where I think, personally, I don't know enough about it, but I think RVMs play a pivotal role in this, where I think that still becomes something if you want a cheap way to do it. Problem is, you only reach a certain demographic, a very minor, like minority demographic, not minority as in people, but as in size of population. And it's like, I could see that, but not many people even want to check their voicemail, leave it empty to fill up a voicemail.
Right.
But I think there's a place for
years. You haven't listened to one in years?
Yeah.
You don't listen to voicemails?
Mine's always full. I do. I'll listen to voicemail, but again, it's more of a filtering thing for me too.
That's so funny.
I think there's a place for it, for like, if you go to a website and you sign up and you click a box that says, yes, I want my offer via text, or yeah, I wouldn't mind. And I think that's where it needs to go. And then you have your texting platform through InvestorFuse linked into smartphone or something, where your flow and your follow-up sequence in InvestorFuse is set up, where as soon as that PPC lead comes in and they did check that box, right, you're legally allowed to text them. You send them a text letting them know that you're about to call this. I see that as how texting is used, which is how it probably should be used. And I think we just all were at a party with no parents for the longest time, and now we have
hilarious analogy for it.
Yeah, and now we have chaperones, and we have to go back to the way it should be, which is no drugs or alcohol. People, let's act normal, where we're not ashamed of ourselves, right?
I did hear something funny. It's funny. I'm dealing with I can relate to the chaperoning with having kids, getting older. So I heard something like weird. So somebody reached out to me asking questions. They're like, hey, this user of Launch Control is getting this kind of guidance from Launch Control. And what Launch Control was telling them is, you need to have a different website just for your texting, and you need to stay away from all of these keywords. And they give a list. So the keyword list we've gone through on this call.
Yeah.
But to my understanding, and to people way smarter than I on A2P 10DLC, is that keyword guidance really only relates to what's in the text messaging. The launch control is like, no, they're going to look at your website. And if your website has this language on it, then you're not going to get approved. I've not heard of that. And I still don't quite understand it because I know of tons of people's websites say, get a quick cash offer or getting approved. And I'm not seeing any rejection reasons in what we do here at InvestorFuse with that as a reason. But I don't know if Twilio or if launch control is talking to somebody and they like are seeing the future. And it's like
somebody needs to come up with like something new that's like texting, but not like texting. Like, could you just airdrop people?
Well, that would be interesting.
Do you remember, John, which was was it may have been an InvestorFuse mastermind. It was something similar to that. It was something similar to an airdrop where you could set up things. I think you were there because it was
there was a thing before that worked off of like Bluetooth location where when you went buy something, it would automatically
you walk through the store.
It would automatically send you. And I think something like that, or it pings off of something else that could be more geographically like a wider net. Somebody is going to invent something like that doesn't even involve texting. It's just a immediate drop on your phone of total invasion.
What if the only way to do that is via an app? So what if like each company could create their own app, then people like go download it and you can
like a notification
with them there. Yeah, and it pops up as notification.
I could see that. I also just read, this has nothing to do with this, but I saw this yesterday. Sony has a patent on in order for you to end a commercial while watching TV, you have to say the brand's name for the commercial to stop. New way of advertising. So now
it makes you.
So you know how before it's like just you can exit this commercial in 10 seconds. Now instead of clicking the button, you have to say the brand's name. I just think we're finding new ways to become more of a consumer society. And I don't think what we do is any different. So that invasion of privacy of like dropping on someone's phone, I could see somebody finding a way to do that for advertising. I could definitely see that.
So talking about new ways of advertising, I think that like if the people that are watching here, you may get ahead of the game. You can go to certain streaming services now. Hulu is one, and I'm imagining there's others, but
put
Hulu,
an ad up?
Sure. You can put an ad up for local geography for like as much as it was for like doing Google ads or Facebook ads. And so because of Brandon, right? Like he taught me that there's this free TV on Samsung TV. So whenever we leave the house, we put it on for my dog who's a little bit anxious. So they are now playing local commercials to Gainesville. I just started noticing that like the last couple of days. So I think like that is certainly an avenue to look at. And as far as I remember, like Hulu lets you get down to the zip code.
Yeah, I didn't dive into it. I saw their ad for it one time on Hulu. Like, do you want to advertise all this? Boxes. I could see that. But I still think this, and I'm not upset with it, I still think this weeds out a lot of people from the industry. I think once SMS goes in, but I stand corrected to a certain extent. I think that the more advanced your marketing has to be, the more expensive it gets, right?
Oh, yeah.
But then somebody will come out with a way for that not to be. And I think pay per lead is another way for newer people who have maybe 5-10 grand, because you still need to pay to play. 5-10 grand to get their first deal. And if they run it like a business and reinvest, they could scale that pay per lead, go into another type of marketing channel. I see that as becoming the next big thing. As I have dove into pay per lead myself, I was like, man, like I could see as SMS and cold calling is going to get more expensive. But I think as SMS goes out and the newbies have nothing else to do, they're going to pay per lead.
Yeah.
And the problem is with pay per lead is that's a dirty game. Like you really got to be good because you're still fighting it out and you got to trust your provider.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how stuff moves.
We should bring on. Do we know the people from Lead Zolo?
Met them. I could reach out.
I feel like we should bring them on and talk about the pay per lead product itself. and like what they're doing to change the industry with that, and how they differentiate from others, and what they think of some of the people coming in. Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be interesting.
I know you had seen a social media thread about Resimply. Well, did you follow up on it?
I didn't.
Yeah.
What about it?
Their phone system?
Oh, you mean, yeah. And again, I don't have facts. I just saw a bunch of people complaining how their phone systems were down. And
I
so
wonder if
they're looking.
they're another provider that is the same thing. Like everybody's on
Yeah.
the same account. So I wonder if they're having the same problems
So
launching.
yeah, because they're an all-in-one platform, and I read like people are in all. So I'm a part of so many different guru groups, as well as just general wholesaling, subject to seller finance, all the different stuff, groups on Facebook. And I've seen a couple posts where they're talking about Resimply and then asking, have you gotten? So people are recommending different phone services, but a couple of them were just in general asking for new CRMs that integrate, because the only reason why they were with Resimply, hypothetically, was because they had an all-in-one type of platform. And if that's going away, that now opens them up to look at other software, because if they got to integrate, they could go get maybe a different software that fits them if they just have to deal with using an outside phone system anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never used Resimply. I hear good things about it. I don't know. I'm an Investor Fuse guy, so obviously I don't really know much about it.
Resimply is your jam.
Yeah, they're okay. I just think they get messy. They get messy. The bigger you are, the messier they get.
Exactly.
They're cool though. They're cool, but
Yeah.
you still got to scroll down for your shit.
It's true. Continuing on with consent stuff. So Carrot has, I believe, released, if not going to very soon. I've seen it. They have a way for you to add consent text messaging to your Carrot website. So
good. I knew that. I knew they would do that eventually. I figured that was coming. A company of their size and like quality, I figured they were.
Yeah, and they did it really well with their two-step process, where it shows up at the right time and only if they put in a phone number. So they're really focused on still making sure, even with consent, that there's great conversion optimization. So watch out for your in-app email or whatever it is, how you get notifications from Carrot about how to turn that on. And then following up with that, we will be then taking that a step further inside of Investor Fuse. So we're going to create a way that we can push in, does this person have text message consent, yes or no? And if it's no, you will not be able to text them. So just a safeguard for you and your employees to not text people who haven't consented, so that you then, ultimately affect.
Is it going to automatically know? It's going to know if they click that box?
So the feature will have to be turned on for the team. Like we're not doing it by default. And then you'll have to work with our team to pass through the consent box to the right.
Yeah. So if we have Carrot, it should be pretty simple since you guys are all integrated. So a little side note, I was rebranding. I am rebranding, right? So I'm redoing all my stuff. Speaking of which, I'm gonna get with you guys, Investor Fuse, to redo my documents, and it's really easy. One of the best things about Investor Fuse, I just call them up and I'm like, hey guys, like I got to redo my documents, my contracts, my DocuSign, and they'll be like, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, because I need new branding, right? New contracts, new everything. And I was like, shit, I got to create like a whole new website. And I was like, man, that's going to be a pain in the ass. And I was like, wait a second. I'm on Carrot. I pay for multiple sites. All I got to do. And so right before this thing, I was like setting up this other domain through Carrot. And I was like, man, I made it. Now, again, it's not customized to me just yet. Like, because you could pay to have your Carrot site more customized.
You can,
You can even hire Fiverr people to do it if you want to. Like there's people out there charging to do it. But I was like, man, this really makes it a lot easier for me just to get off the ground. You know what I mean? Like get that thing going. So I thought that was pretty cool. So I got to do that. So I'll be looking if they have that release. I don't know when that's coming out, but that'll be interesting for me as I rebrand for more, what am I trying to say? Inbound marketing campaigns. Cause I'm pretty much, that's
at this point, everybody should have it turned on. Like, I mean, you can't, it's hard to walk that line as a provider, right? As a product provider, to force people to make good choices, because the good choice is to just take the leap, take all of the hard choices, track your consent, get your consent, because it's only going to set you
Can
up.
you have it automatically checked yes, and they would have to uncheck no?
No, you cannot do that.
God, that would have been sweet. Hey, I just figured I'd throw it out
The
there.
intent of clicking, which is the consent. So yeah, no, sorry.
Yeah, but you know, they'll make it so it's like, you know how those companies, when you buy something from them, they have like 3 different boxes where it's like, you know, I agree, and then it's like, do you want to get notifications, and then something else, and you're just like, click, click, ah, shit, I clicked that by accident, but you already hit the send button. I've done that so many times. I'm like, shit, and they set it up that way so you're clicking and you're not really thinking, and then you click send, and then everything catches up to you, and you're like, shit, now I'm going to be getting emailed from them 1,000 effing times.
Dude, personal, I mean, business emails too for investor views, but man, just from like even traveling, like being out of office a couple weeks last month, my personal email inbox, like I need to get the unroll.me app back rolling, but like,
oh really?
Email is
So
so
I have a whole
congested.
separate email. So I have my old college Yahoo email that I use for that, and like I don't know when Yahoo is going to start.
An amazing email address.
Yeah. So John, I'm not going to say what the name is, but John, I signed up with like a bunch of wholesalers, right, and like lenders and stuff on Instagram. They're like, oh, we're starting a fantasy football league on Yahoo, and the guy's like, let me get your email, and I put my head down. I'm like, fuck, this is so embarrassing. And so I typed it out to him, and his response was like, you know, just like laughs, like, bro, nice email. I'm like, come on, man, this was from college, like 20 years ago. I thought it was cool. It's just my Yahoo, because you have to have a Yahoo email to play Yahoo fantasy football. Oh, it's so embarrassing, dude. Because here they are, professional people that like I do business with, and then it's like.
It's an amazing email address.
But yeah, I got that, and I know what you mean. Like, it gets jammed up, spam, dude. It gets spammed crazy. There's no way around it, though. It's just you start unenrolling them and unsubscribing, but it takes a while. But then they come back as something else.
It's like another domain. Tetrahydron, or what is that thing called? Where you cut off the head and like 2 more come back.
Yeah.
It's exactly like that.
I was gonna. I've thought about. There's so much stuff going on with the kids now, and I just don't pay attention to my personal email like at all anymore. I log into it when I specifically need to go find an email that somebody sent me. It's like I need to get notified by my kids' stuff, and it's like falling into the.
I just don't know when Yahoo's going to tell me to F off. Like, do they not understand? Like, at some point, like I'm just using up your memory for junk. Like, are they going to charge me? I don't know. I've been riding this Yahoo email for 20 years. And the unlimited gigabytes.
Oh,
I'm probably on terabytes now, bro, of just junk.
I don't know. I think it's like Gmail's limited to like what, 30 gigs?
Oh no, I pay Gmail.
Yeah.
So like Gmail is like I pay a penny or some crazy something of like for space. They charge me like $1 dollar.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
15 gigabytes. Yeah, I don't know. I pay something for it. Somebody's in the comments saying AJ is saying 15 gigabytes. He also said Hail Hydra. Is that a Marvel comment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hydra.
I mean, I'm out of space on my cell phone. You just run out of space on these things.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I do like the 1 terabyte for Google on Google Drive. 1 or 2 terabytes, something like that.
Well, to wrap up our A2P conversation, so smartphone, I think everybody has kind of been aware is purposely going through changing their infrastructure to better help their customers through all of this. That has happened. And they, I don't know how much I can share, but I'm just going to give a thumbs up of like, they're making the right moves over there. I know that it's been a struggle through some of the process. But of everybody that I know, they're doing the right things.
Well, I'll let you know. Like, I'm going to set up my new site, so that's something I'm working on today and this weekend. So I'm curious to see if that's on there, because that's what I'm using it for is inbound. My old site was just more of a placeholder because I did everything outbound, and it was just more of a place for credibility to send people. But as I'm rebranding, I needed a better name, a better logo, everything for inbound marketing and all that stuff. So
Better AI photos all over your website.
bro, yeah, dude, yeah, put those up there.
All good. Well,
That's about it though, guys. Like, I'll update you more next week on the park and stuff, and kind of go from there.
Cool.
We'll find out more, especially as I raise this money for this new park. It'll be fun.
yeah,
Love it.
it'll be intriguing if you say yes, if you renegotiate. I'm looking forward to the updates.
For sure.
Cool. All right. Well, everybody have a great week.
It's lock and load, guys.
We'll see you all next week. After Halloween. Here, I'll switch it to the spooky design. I forgot I should have done that earlier.
Let's do that next. Let's do that next week for the duration of the show.
Yeah. All right,
All right,
guys.
guys.
See you next
Thanks.
week.